Welcome everybody back to BoostinMotion, guys, and today in this video I'm actually going to answer some of you guys' questions. I put up a post in my community tab on YouTube and I said, hey guys, post your questions below and I will answer it. So I just want to try this style of video. I thought it was a pretty cool idea to give it a shot. Plus I never really post anything in this community tab. So shout out to everybody that participated. I'm probably going to take that questionnaire down because I know you guys are going to keep putting up questions. So I only had it out for about 24 hours. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go. Also shout out to VRP. So this video will be coming out soon in the future. I don't know when I'm going to put this video up. Probably after some of the parts for the C63 are installed. So anyway, shout out to VRP for sending out some merch. Also appreciate you guys so much for that. Let's jump right into it. So bowling is my hobby. He says, what do you do for a living? Shout out to everybody in the chat. I have a couple of my grid people out here. I don't want to say what company I exactly work for. Just guys, don't comment below. But I do work in the natural gas industry. So shout out to them. Much love to the company that I work for. It's really fun, really cool. Not gonna ever talk down upon them. But I work in the natural gas industry. Shout out to Michael Duran. What are some drag-focused suspension setups, coilovers, sway bars, etc.? Well, it really depends on what specific model car you have. For the G37 370Z guys, you have some things that you can go with, such as traction bars, and or set your car up with SPL high quality parts. Reason being is, if you're really focused on doing drag, any type of drag racing, you should remove yourself from using certain suspension components that have rubber bushings. You really want to go with suspension components that replace it with kind of, I hate to say, ball bearing and or metal to metal material such as SPL. They don't use any rubber or polyurethane bushings. It's really majority solid. Also on top of that, you said sway bars. Really, sway bars, you can really stick with stock sway bars. You don't really need to go with any more stiffer sway bars. Reason being is, if you go with stiffer sway bars, that can actually bind up and add too much tension to the rear end. So I would say just stick with stock sway bars for now and go with extended sway bar links too. Once again, these replace a lot of the bushings and or soft ball joints that they would actually use. So definitely look into extended links. Coilovers. Here's a funny thing about drag racing, right? You can go with coilovers and then that allows you can tune for adjustability based on height of the car. You can get the dampers adjusted so that it can help you with even a softer ride, or go with softer springs. So what I would honestly sit there and say is, if you do choose to go with a coilover system, you can definitely try to switch up to different spring rates. That will actually change up the drivability of the car. But I'm gonna keep it honest with you. Stick with stock suspension. A lot of people in this platform actually just stick with stock suspension. You want the car to be able to transfer a lot of the weight to the rear end, so that rear end could squat properly, that you're not losing a lot of a lot on the 60 foot. So that's what I would throw out there. And also the biggest component, really, to be honest, is to me, in all honesty, is tires. You want to go with a good solid drag tire. Now I don't really have the experience on answering this question because I'm a little biased. I have NT05Rs, which I think are great tires to use for the drag strip, but people could comment below and probably sit there and tell you their setups. You have Hoosiers and you have a couple of other drag setups you guys can go with. So I really don't have the experience, so continue looking at other YouTube videos that are more drag focused that can be able to answer your questions. Thank you, Michael, I appreciate that. Dwayne says, what would want in a new refresh? I assume that you said, what would I want in a new refresh Q50? To be honest, it would have to be a new chassis code, but Infiniti will probably try to keep the same chassis code. All honesty, you can keep the VR30 in it. You give me the 9-speed automatic. That should be a great 9-speed automatic. That's going to be the new Nissan Z. Still make it an all-wheel drive option, and or rear-wheel drive option. Give us a 6-speed manual option for the purists. Even though they might not sell at high quantities, you'd be quite surprised. The car community doesn't have a lot of 6-speed manual rear-wheel drive sedans out there. So for them to make a 6-speed manual rear-wheel drive twin turbo car, people will actually still get that. Make that both in the Q50 and the Q60. Definitely update the interior to the newer QX60 interior. And of course, you're gonna have to give us a complete refresh of the exterior of the car. It's gonna have to look a lot newer. Outside of that, just give us a little bit more of the gimmicks that people want, digital dash, which you guys already have, and just a couple other things for the interior to just make it more premium. And also, the Q50 needs red seats. I don't understand why that's still not an option. We should have red seats and/or different color red seats, which I do see in the newer Infinitis. Lastly, a mechanical rear differential would be pretty dope. Add a proper mechanical rear differential. It don't have to be electronically controlled, but add a proper mechanical rear differential on the more sportier end of the car. Stinger versus TLX, Type S versus G7 versus IS500. What's your favorite and why? Out of the Stinger, TLX, G70, and IS500, I really can't pick out of that community of cars because they all have their own positive. The Stinger, to me, I think is an all-around good car. It gives you all the purpose from the interior space to the styling of the car. It really stands out. The TLX itself, I like that they just made the front end really sexy, but it just really stops right there with the new Type S. I don't really see too much else about the car I really like. I think the stance of the car, the front of the car is really nice. The rear end looks more coupe-ish, coupe-like, which some of you guys may like. I actually don't like. I don't think that the road presence is as aggressive as it really should be. And it's still transverse mounted, so it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth because it's transverse mounted all-wheel drive, but it is what it is. We're going to see what the performance gains are from it. The G70, I actually like the first gen G70 over the newer one. I think that those new headlights on the G70 just throw off the look of the car, and it's not really making me a fan of it. But the interior of the G70s are fire, very high quality, very good looking. I've seen the car in person, and I really do like it. But outside of that, the G70 I think is a good luxury all-around car too. It's just a better, it's not compared to a Stinger, but it's just really good. To be honest, the G70 is better than the Q50, just all the way around. I just don't get any aftermarket support. And the IS500, I'm keeping it 100 with you guys. The IS500, the body styling is A1. Love the way the look of the car looks. Interior, good, high quality, looks good. It's just like a better refreshed Q50. They need to refresh the IS, and they did that. The rear end of the car looks really good, and then they kept it really dope. They added a damn near 500 horsepower, almost 500 horsepower V8 rear-wheel drive to it, and it's gonna make good noises. I haven't heard it, and I really do think that's a real good positive for the Lexus community, for the IS500, because yeah, it may not be turbocharged. I really wished it was. They have a twin turbo 6 motor that could easily put in there, but they went with the V8, and I don't know what that's going to translate to sales, but it's nice that we still get an option of getting a Japanese car with a V8 in rear-wheel drive. How often do you see that? Come on. And think about the ISF. Those cars are still selling. Period. So shout out to you for Dwayne. I appreciate that question. What's up, Boost? I got a question concerning transmission mount on the Q with slight modification on the cross base. Would it fit the 3.7? Honestly, I do not know. I don't see why it wouldn't, but I actually do not know. Hopefully someone comments below. I'm also gonna probably write in a comment on YouTube that I do not know. Okay. Monty TX says, you may have addressed this, but what's your coil setup as far as dampering goes? I may have to just rewatch the video. I've had different spring rates on all my coilovers for the Q50 and up to the Q60. I've had from the stock rates that they come out the box, I think 12 to 8K in the rear, 12 in the front, 8K in the rear, and I went up to 24 to 24K in the front to 20 in the rear, switched to 20s to the front, and then I went to 16K, 12K. Right now, honestly, daily driving in New York, not really racing or anything like that, I went down to 8K in the rear, and I believe I am at now 16K in the front. So 16K front, which is a little bit stiff, and 8K in the rear, which is pretty soft. So that's my setup right now for a daily Q60. Okay, shout out to you. I appreciate that, J Switch. Well, I already answered that already. Shout out to that Monty TX. Okay, is this car channel or a boring podcast? It's been for months already. Okay, so 885 5.0 Lopez says, is this a car channel or a boring podcast? Like, it's been for months already. Well, in all honesty, my channel isn't the type of channel that's around enough motorsports. I'm based out in Brooklyn, New York. We don't have much motorsports. Unless you guys want me to go to carb meets and see a bunch of flame maps and burbles, I can do that. If you guys want to see that, then I can see that. I'm not part of the underground racing community. I'm an older dude. I'm not putting myself around that type of stuff. I have a day job. You know, a lot of other YouTubers, some of the big ones, that's all they do. So they get to put themselves around that type of community. I'm never gonna play my underground dudes that gotta do what they gotta do to make their bread. But I'm not in that type of community, and I'm not willing to risk that for views. I'm not willing to risk that to possibly grow my channel. No, I have good insurance rates, I have good credit score, and I continue to build my own personal life. So I'm not gonna take the risk in doing so. Also, on top of that, it'll be kind of nice to branch off into podcasting and also talking to people in the car community. I am trying to branch off and do it amongst other things, but one of the biggest things that grew my channel was, the thing that grew my channel the fastest was when I did comparison runs with other people. It's kind of dope to have that. But the second thing that grew my channel the most was just literally just talking to you guys and answering you guys' questions like I'm doing right now. But I appreciate that so much. 88 5.0, much love, much respect. Yo, Boost, F the haters. I love your content. Keep it up. I appreciate that, Livy Steffens. Thank you, man. When's the next big meet? Trying to pull up when I'm finished my build. Honestly, Cam, I don't know. I had to cancel a meet. I was supposed to go to Fort Lauderdale at the start of September, but I actually ended up canceling that. It just doesn't feel right. It's not moving how the way I wanted to move. My schedule isn't moving how it's supposed to move, so I ended up canceling that. So I honestly don't know. But we're probably I was supposed to have an appreciation meet at All Out Motorworks, but he's running into issues with his neighbors. So yeah, we really can't do anything out that. But we should try to set something up with Boost Fiend in Long Island, which I literally forgot to do. Remember, guys, I have a day job, so sometimes I just honestly forget. Looking for a, thank you, Cam, for that. Looking for a fun sedan around 30K. Any recommendations aside from Q50? Obviously not looking for crazy power. Just a fun daily that's somewhat moddable. 88 5.0 stated a 340i. There's plenty of cars under that 30K range. You have ISs. You have you still have some Mitsubishi Evos that are still around that 20K. You have STIs, depending on the year. There's a lot of sedans that just come to my mind. Even the EcoBoost Show, the Ford one, the EcoBoost, that's also a fun sedan. There's so many, like under 30K. Like you can get, even going into German world, you can get E55 AMGs. They're under 30K. You might be able to find some E90 M3s under 30K. It just keeps going. There's a lot. I honestly, this list is just too much. I can keep going. There's a lot of cars, depending on if you want it rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, V8, twin turbo, 4-cylinder turbo, you know, V6. There's a lot of cars that are four-door sedans that actually are in this community under $30,000. So those are some of the ones that I've listed, but there's a long list of cars. You would have to break it down into cars that may be newer, a little bit newer years, or if you want to go older years, the list just gets longer and longer. It's really up to you. Just try to figure out if you want an all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, manual, auto. All depends on your liking. But if I was gonna get a car for under 30K, that I believe is a fun all-around, a fun car. When I drove an Evo, the Evo 8, and it was modern, no, it was an Evo 9 and more actually. I think those cars are still under 30K on the used market. They might be above that now, but you might be able to find some Evos under that price. Those cars are freaking fun. Those cars manual, or if you get the 10 with the automatic, oh my god, those cars are really fun to drive. And it's like really a grocery cart on rails. So I would say those are really fun cars, a lot of tunability, not a lot of modability that you can add into them. And yo, They make good power for their lightweight chassis. Shout out to that. I appreciate that question. Much love, much love. Okay, what's the next question? Sorry for making this video long, guys. I apologize about it. It's just, I'm running through it. What do you think about the JB4 electronic wastegate module? I never used it on my Q50 when it did came out, and I never used it on my Q60 either. I just chose to stay away from that type of stuff. Not saying that it isn't beneficial and probably could help you have quicker 0 to 60s and hold boost a lot better. I just know that now that we're adjusting the wastegate, but we're still not making any changes to fuel pressure. Well, we're not making changes to timing. Fuel pressure may come down a lot more depending on how much boost you're trying to run at certain specific RPM. I would just want a tuner to do that. I believe the JB4 is great for where it does start. I think it's nice that it adds the fuel wires that can trick the ECU to kind of push you more to a leaner mixture to make a bit more power, especially for road racing and dig racing. And that stuff is only when you really are full open throttle. But outside of that, and or E30 mixes, but outside of that, I'm just not a fan of going that deep into it. I shout out and I respect Burger Tuning a lot for what they've done in the community. But at that point, I think you should just invest into a full-fledged tune because it's an apple and orange comparison. They're just not the same. Well, thank you. I appreciate that question at Mr. Brian Shy. All right, what's good? What's a good tune for my 16 MB S550? Honestly, at Nestor, I'm still growing within the Mercedes community. There's a lot of big dogs in this community, but the more and more I realize in this community is that they all sell over-the-air or mail-in tunes. They make a mail-in tune for pretty much any car if it's driven from Australia to America, from the highest mountains to sea level, from the hottest temperatures of Saudi Arabia to the coldest temperatures of certain parts of Canada. They make tunes to be super conservative, so I can't sit there and tell you which specific tuner to go with, even though I'm continuing to learn. Well, what I do love the most about me being in the tuning community is that when I go into the German community, they're not big on tuning the car. Tuning, I mean remote tuning and or dyno tuning the car. Your car should be modified based on the conditions on where you live. So if you live in 5,000 feet above sea level, you should be able to have a tuner up there that can tune your car, or a remote tune where they'll tune for the specific weather and or DA and or whatever, continue for your specific community. So I really don't have any recommendations. Sorry about that, Nestor. Ended up getting a Super Dave 41. I did answer this question randomly because I thought it was part of another video, but I stated the same thing he says. Ended up getting a Mercedes E550 by Turbo V8. Do you think, he said, what do you think has the best tune for this? Lots of options I'm considering, thanks. And I said, not a fan of the over-the-shelf tunes for the platform. I'm still doing my research, as I already answered that question already. So let me continue. Bear with me, guys. What do you think about installing JB4 on my 2017 Q50 Premium? That's at Ali. Ali, listen, we've been installing JB4s on these cars since 2017. It's 2021. There's no feel. Like, no disrespect, but when people come to this community saying, can I run this on my stock XYZ? I'm like, guys, we've been doing this since 2017. There's plenty of videos on, not only from me, there's not only from me, but other people in the community who have been running the JB4. There's a whole community on the internet talking about this on Facebook Marketplace. You can run a JB4 on your stock Q50, Q60. That's it. VR30. All right. Why are the B58 boys bullying the VR boys? Tommy says, honestly, I don't think anyone's bullying. To be honest, I would say that the VR30 community has been throwing the first stones because at the end of the day, they're BMW crowd. You know what I'm saying? They're BMW crowd, so they got the M cars. But the B58s are more around our apples to apples comparison, and that's just really what's happening. It is what it is. They make similar power. They both have great drivetrains, and that's just really honestly it. It's just a good rivalry that everyone should just enjoy. That's really it. Is the car community a toxic one? At Zega Mix said, to be honest with you, I joined the car community probably in the early 2000s, and it was about making power You want your car to make power. That's where the underdog thing comes from. You really cared about doing that. So when you used to go to car meets, it was people who did dope things with their car, like they added turbos, superchargers to cars you really shouldn't do it to. And that was what makes it so different. You had the people who bought the cars already bought with power and modified those. And it was just good to go to car shows and see these crazy different builds. But as we got into after the 2010s and then the mid 2010s, the car community changed more into, hey, let me slam these cars on bags. Let me add as much camber as possible. More of the overseas type of look, hella flush look. And then from then on, that's just where it actually continued to actually go. More and more, I realized the community went to that type of knowledge. And people are saying, man, yeah, I'm gonna run minus 10 degrees of camber on my XYZ car. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Because I love how it looks. I want to drive it like how it's parked. No, at that point you're adding 11-inch wheels with like a negative 50 offset and trying to fit on the tiniest tires. At that point, to me, it wasn't even function anymore. And some of you guys will say that's form. I don't think that's even form either. The form has to be usable, like completely. Like even though that still makes function, like the form has to be still usable, man. So I believe that we went more to the bag community. We stopped modifying a lot of these cars and we just bagged them out, add the widest wheels we can, the tiniest, the most narrowest tires, and we kept the cars OEM looking. And with social media, what happened with that is people would have a stock G37 on Valsons and a front lip with tint and 50,000 followers. That was the reward for just having a clean OEM car and bags and a nice set of wheels. That's literally it. Versus the dude who spent $10, $20, $30,000 modifying his G37, built motor, built trans, 2 turbos, functional fitment, and he'll be right next to that freaking stock car, and people are like, oh my god, that G37 on bags is so dope. And you look at the other car like, oh, that's cool, that's all right. Oh, you got turbos, that's cool. And that's just what the community has become. That's it. I think now that you can do so much less and do cherry pick 1 to 2 to 3 modifications, and now you're insta famous. Thank you, ZegaMex, for that. Gregory, what do you think about Nissan's V8 engines? Well, from the 4.5, 5.6, and a few other V8 motors in the community. I'm not too familiar with a lot of them. A lot of them were just our workhorses, just like the 3.7 from the back in the days, from the early 2000s. But as the time has come, they become obsolete. I don't believe that they made any of the V8 engines to be really high performance engines, period. They just said, all right, cool, we're gonna build them, we're gonna put them in our trucks, and that's just really gonna be it. They're not trying to make it a high performance engine. I think if they really took the time out and made the 5.6 a real high performance engine, and try to make it more for motorsports, I think it would be actually pretty dope. Yeah, we do have the 5.0 that went into the FX models, which was derived from the, I believe, the racing part of Nissan and Infiniti. But even then, like, they didn't design it to be that way. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Will you be getting a G37 coupe rear-wheel drive? I used to have a 2007 G35X, which is pretty much the same sedan. I just didn't have the VQ anymore because, 2 years later they switched to the VQ 3.7. So I won't be getting a sedan again. But what I would say is I still want a G37 coupe. I don't know if it's going to be 6-speed manual or auto or even all-wheel drive at this point. But I've been really hinting to the fact that I would like to do a build for the channel. And I think that car is cheap enough. It won't be my daily. Like, I move a little differently in the YouTube spectrum where now that I understand if I'm gonna want to build something, I need to have more than one car. So I can get a G37, not register it, and just slowly start building the car up and build it for performance, document the journey, and then I can register the car and I can drive it. Before, I want to do a lot of these things, but we shouldn't be doing a lot of this stuff with our dailies. For the people that watch this channel, I wanted to go full send on my Q50, but at the end of the day, I realized it's my daily. And I don't want to deal through the headaches and emotional breakdown of my car not starting or I can't get to work, or that I can't get to the shop until the weekend or till my next day off. A lot of stuff needs to get done when you're building a car for performance, and a lot of people don't understand there's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes for a lot of your favorite YouTubers. You might see their next video, oh my god, they built this, but you gotta understand it took them months of planning and other months of building the car for it to make an 8-minute video. And you guys don't learn to appreciate, not coming to any of y'all, but y'all don't learn to appreciate that stuff. So all in all, I would like to build a G37 for the channel. It'll be more of a shop and or project car for the channel, and that would be pretty dope. I would love to do that. It won't be my daily, but it'll be one of the cars on my channel. Shout out to that question, man. Much love. Sorry for anybody who made this part. This video is gonna be super long because I like to answer these questions, man. I appreciate that, Gregory. Next, okay, no, I appreciate that, DB. What part of the West Indies are I'm from? Barbados. Bijan man here, boy. I'm actually from the West Indies. I'm born here, but my family's from the West Indies. So if you guys want to check out the beautiful island of Barbados, definitely tap in, go check it out, man. It's a good, amazing island, man. Got all my fellow West Indian brothers. Got a lot of respect from you guys in the community. Much love, much respect. Thank you, Bobby. Tim Brazil. Why the C63 over a G80? What's a G80? I'm not too positive what a G80 is. I just want to jump in here real quick because I actually Googled G80 and a Hyundai came up. So I got confused with it. I assume that you were talking about, now when I looked it up, just to make sure, you're actually talking about the new M3. Now, the reason why I actually went with the C63 for the time being is it was just a timing thing. I was looking for another car. I was shopping for a GTR. You can check my old video when I was looking to buy a GTR, and the C63 was one of the options that came up, and that also had on my list. Now the G80 at that point wasn't out, and also I just can't flex like that. G80 is about $1,000 a month for a lease, and I don't want to make that commitment at $12,000 a year for a G80. I know that it might bring a lot of content to the community, but that also helps. And finally, the all-wheel drives aren't available until, guess what? August, September. This was back in March, April time. So I would have had to wait another 4 months just to get an all-wheel drive. And at that point, the anticipation would have killed me. So I went with the C63 for those specific reasons. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. All right, so Max says post questions below, but don't answer any. I guess every little view click counts to get the numbers up towards the end of the month. At MacVar, I'm gonna keep it honest with you. I like to keep it honest with everybody, right? I stated in this community tab that I'm gonna make a response video for every single person. This is me taking the time out of my day to answer, because at the end of the day, I'm not a YouTuber that only does YouTube. Some people have their day job and they can run around and have the freedom of doing whatever they want, and they're around motorsports. So your favorite YouTubers usually don't have a day job. So if you don't appreciate that about me, I understand. If anyone who comments on my videos, I appreciate y'all. But I tell you guys, hit me up at boostinmotion on IG, Facebook, and boostinmotion@gmail.com, because that's where I try to go and answer the questions, because everything is funneled. If you really want to answer a question, you'll add me or email me at those places. And anybody that knows me on IG knows that I get back to ask their questions. That's something that I offer for free during my time. All right, I appreciate you took the time to watch my video and ask the question about what's the best oil to use, or should I use these test pipes, or what's your best tires on some of the videos, on comments on my videos. But for me to go through all of the videos and take my time and answer all of it, it's just gonna take too much time. Your favorite YouTubers that are large do not DM you guys back. They don't hit you guys back in email. And if they are responding to the questions, they hired someone to answer them, because it's too large. They don't have the time to do that. Time is money. So I'm a regular dude until I become, unless I get to become a large YouTuber where it replaces my complete day job and I have a lot of downtime. If I ever have a YouTube that's ever that big and making that much amount of money, understand I'm always working. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I appreciate you so much. But yes, we have to get the views up. We have to be able to build up our community, because at the end of the day, we still have a revenue. I still treat my YouTube as a business because it is under a business. So unfortunately, until you are in my position to understand it, you don't know, you don't understand, and you did not read what I wrote in the community tab. Theodore says, is that a Mercedes a V8? Yes, it is an M177 V8 twin turbo. Thank you about that. And last question from Vic. Why is your mood so calm and boring? Would watch your videos more, but damn man, you boring ass vibe. You know what? Let me see what they'll comment below. 88 5.0, that's I highly agree. Big facts, no cap. I used to watch the channel, but man's all talk, no car action. I came back one blue moon, see if things got better, but no. Listen, so at both Vic and 88 5.0, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the idea that you guys want me to be a little bit more exciting, show more personality on it. But at the end of the day, that's just not the way that I move. I'm a real cool, calm dude. Anybody that met me on the meet, I'm a real cool, calm dude. If I sit there and have a conversation with you, it's gonna be a good conversation. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna have some jokes, there's gonna be some playful banter. We're men at the end of the day. But this YouTube channel isn't the type of YouTube channel that's around motorsports. I'm not around the motorsports community. I'm not around any of that. So it's unfortunate that you would want me to do a bit more and give you guys a bit more, but I'm not around it. And even when I do take my time to push myself out and put myself around those type of stuff, it doesn't actually replicate to views, because at the end of the day, as one of your guys' favorite other YouTubers stated that infinities are irrelevant. And it's unfortunate. I have people who turn down races from me because guess what? An infiniti, to me it's content. To them, it's their respect. They don't want to lose to an infiniti. So if that answer isn't good enough for you, sorry. There's other YouTubers that you already probably watch and support that have 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, a million subscribers, and a lot more income than your smaller YouTuber has. Once or if I ever become a YouTuber that has that much of an income, then I can do more. I can hire people. I can go certain places. I have a day job. I still go to a day job. Every day I do my 40 just like any regular individual. Anyone who knows me, I am not a GOAT. I am not any of that. I'm a regular dude just like y'all, and on my spare time, I try to take my time out of my day to answer you guys' questions, to make videos about what you guys answer. Even in this specific video, I took time out of my day when I gotta know I gotta go to work in the next couple of hours to answer the questions that people put in my community tab, because I said, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys so much for supporting me. And I know I don't get to all the videos. I know I don't get to go through all the comments. And I find it very hard to answer some of your questions. So if I could just streamline some of you guys, just to throw up a few questions here, I think that I can at least get to those few amount of people that might have fell through the cracks, that might not have gotten the chance to actually answer. And this is why I do what I do for y'all. If you don't appreciate it, if you don't like it, it is what it is. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate that I didn't become that YouTuber that you really wanted me to be. I never said I was supposed to be this amazing YouTuber. I'm a regular dude from Brooklyn, trying to find my way and continue to navigate my way. I know you want me to be amazing and beautiful and inspirational. I understand that. That's why I love and support other YouTubers. But other YouTubers are moving a different lane. I'm not in that lane yet. If I get in that lane one day, then you'll see that I move a little different. All right? But outside of that, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep growing. And one day, hey, listen, because if I threw pure turbos on the Q60 and I make 650, 700 wheel, I bet you guys will love it. But then when I pop that motor, or I overspin those turbos and I'll make a video saying, damn, I blew it, you guys are like, damn, that sucks. Are you gonna donate to the channel? Are you gonna donate to my Cash App, my PayPal? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna go back and watch all my videos from the start to the finish and hit the like button? Are you gonna share these videos with other people to let them know how dope of a YouTuber that I really am and how much you guys appreciate me? I really honestly don't know, because at the end of the day, a lot of you guys don't even support it as is. My analytics show a lot different. A lot of my views, about 60% to 70%, are from people who are not subscribed to the channel. So a lot of people that subscribe like my channel for specific type of content, but they subscribe to me because they're like, all right, they're pretty cool, but I'll check in with you later, and I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, until I am moving that way and I am in that lane where my channel is so big, so enormous, that I can throw 2 turbos now on the C63 and make 800 wheel on freaking race gas, and I'm out here dragging Lamborghinis and all this type of stuff and just having fun, and it also replaces my income from my day job, right? So I can do these things and create these type of avenues. Till I get there, I'm not there. So if you don't just want to support me when I'm down here, it's okay, because the day that I continue to go up and up, when I look through the comments and I see you saying you're applauding me and you're giving me the cheer, I'm gonna be like, block. Like, block you, never see you ever again. Because you should support me on my way up. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't punch me when I'm already here, because don't appreciate me when I'm here. That's it. So outside of that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you so much. I appreciate all my Boost in Motion family. I appreciate all my Infiniti family that bang with me. I appreciate all the Mercedes family that I've been pulling up, that have been actually tapping in with the channel. And finally, on top of that, anybody who just takes their time to watch their videos and y'all not even in this community, you just appreciate your boy Boost for just hanging out with y'all and trying his best to make consistent content. I appreciate every single one of y'all on a positive note. And for anyone who's a hater, who dislike me, who don't think I'm good enough, still have much love and respect for y'all. At the end of the day, if I'm still not of your standard, I appreciate it. I'm sorry. There's other YouTubers, go check out their channels. At the end of the day, there's plenty of other YouTubers in this platform, in the Q50, Q60 platform, that are super dope. Definitely check them out, because I think they also make great content. Double R, Speed Cultures, I could continue. There's a lot of other YouTubers that make good content in this platform. And do you guys support them and go give them the same support? I also look and see you guys ain't doing it. You guys continue to support the bigger channels that like to light cars on fire and blow them up and do stupid nonsense. This community is about building the cars, making them fast, and helping you navigate the car platform. Not about lighting cars on fire and blowing them up and doing stupid nonsense because it brings 500,000 views. They're more about the paycheck. Period. You guys have a good day. Thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also, on top of that, if you want to purchase some Boost in Motion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you.